Salute to Luffy. Click that bell notification button and subscribe to join the pride. Today we saw the debut of the 41212 Diamond, and I have to say I really like what I saw. In my previous video I mentioned that Bakayoko is not a striker that's going to link up the play. He's a striker whose best attributes is his off-ball movement and his finishing ability inside the box. He loves to play over the shoulder and making runs in between those defenders. And I think having Tammy play alongside Michi allowed him to really just focus on his movement and getting into those dangerous areas inside the box. Now Tammy on occasion would drop in deep to link up with both Barkley and Mount, and it was really nice to see. And I have to say, even though everything didn't come off for Barkley, it was certainly played with a lot more confidence than normal. Now I don't know if Lamps just wanted to maximize the preseason games in hand by choosing to play a cam right behind two strikers up top, giving players the most minutes out there on the pitch, right? Or if he genuinely thinks this could work. Now we did see variations of this at Derby with Waghorn and Marriott usually leading the front lines. So it wouldn't be much surprise to me if this is what Lampard ultimately would like to see us do a bit more often. But he has shown on occasion that he is willing to adapt and he's willing to change how he approaches each game. Game by game, he approaches them differently, slightly differently. I've seen sometimes where he plays 3 in the back, and I've seen sometimes where he plays 4 in the back. He switches it up depending on our position. Now going back to our performance today, what I saw in that first half was a team who, for the most part, they moved the ball quite well. I saw Mason Mount giving us 45 minutes of footage on why he belongs on the first team squad. This man bossed the midfield today. Absolutely best player on the pitch today. When he was out there on the pitch, there was nobody touching him. And yes, it was a preseason game, but like I said, he showed his qualities today. He showed why he deserves an opportunity. So I don't want to hear any negative energy coming from anybody about Mason Mount. He's the real deal. And if there are any doubters, I want you to go back to this game specifically, because this game for me confirmed that Mason Mount is a baller, especially with him being under the tutelage of both Lampard and Morris. This guy is special, man. The sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, he was constantly setting up chances. I mean, from set pieces to just in-play passes. I mean, Michi should have had a hat trick. I mean, he was unlucky. Their goalkeeper kept him in the game for the most part. He made the scoreline respectable, but Michi should have had a hat trick, at least 2 goals. And it was a bit unfortunate. But a player I want to go to bat for, right, is none other than Billy Gilmour. This guy isn't called the Scottish Sets Fibreglass for nothing. He was simply men against boys out there today, and if you were to ask me, the guy deserves a run in the first team. I want to ask you guys one question before you guys slaughter me in the comments for what I just said. What does Bakayoko provide that Gilmour doesn't? He moves the ball better than Bakayoko. He reads the game a lot quicker than Bakayoko. And more importantly, he suits Lampard's style of play more than Bakayoko. Lampard's system relies heavily on technicians in the midfield. And I'm sorry, guys, Baka isn't cutting it. I was trying to give him slack. We need the midfield. We need the depth. But I come to the conclusion that he's just not suited for our style. I'm not saying he's not a good player, and he doesn't have some attributes that are very beneficial to our team, or can be if used in the right way. But I've seen enough to know that he's not a Chelsea player. And it's okay, just because he's not suited for our style doesn't mean he can't thrive elsewhere. Like I said, if it were up to me, I'd happily give Gilmour his spot on the team. And if PSG were to offer the alleged price of 50 million, Bakayoko is theirs if it's up to me. And I think, based on what I'm hearing from all the other Chelsea fans, I think it's safe to say that we all will pull the trigger on that. A few mentions have to go to Giroud. He had a pretty solid half. The goals, I mean, he showed his quality. I mean, the guy is pretty good. He was the master of the Europa League last season. He scored some big goals, and he probably will be our #1 striker for the most part of this season. But I do expect, Tammy and Bakayoko to step up, because they seem hungry, and I know Tammy really wants that top dog spot. And I like competition within the squad. Every squad needs competition. That's the only way you're going to get better. It's the only way, you're always going to have players trying to improve and trying to, just stay hungry. That's always good to have hungry players. because it only can benefit the overall team. Also want to say that Kennedy has now bagged 2 assists in the last two games. You know, he finally played in that left wing, or he played more forward, and that was great to see. I want him on the right hand side because I feel like he can cut inside and be more dangerous that way. But I'm glad to see that he's actually taken away from that left back position, because like I say, his attributes best suit him when he's able to go forward and not have as many defensive responsibilities. But anyways, guys, that's enough about me, about the game. What are you guys' thoughts about the game? What are you guys' comments about what I just said about Gilmour? I think he deserves that spot over Bakayoko, and that's just my 2 cents. I think he's even better than Danny Drinkwater. At least he's best suited for our style of play, and you know, that's okay. It's not. I'm not saying that those guys are trash or they're terrible, but for what we're trying to accomplish, they're not suited for our style of play, and that's okay. Anyways, guys, up the Chelsea, and like I said earlier, salute, and I'm out.